Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rylund Johnson. I'm the MLA for Yellowknife North and Chair of the Standing Committee on Government Operations. Today, committee will be holding two clause-by-clause hearings on Bill 83, the Liquor Act, and Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act, number 3. We are joined here today by the Honourable Minister Wawzonek. Before we begin, I will ask committee members to introduce themselves, beginning with those in the room. Over to you, MLA Derrickon.
Thank you, Richard Jerk. I'm MLA to the Willity. We'll see.
To our Deputy Chair, MLA Marcellos.
MLA Marcellos, member for Tobacco.
Thank you. MLA Semler.
Lisa Semler, MLA for Inuvik Twin Lakes.
And MLA Cleveland.
Caitlin Cleveland, Cam Lake.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome today. And with that, Minister, I believe the plan is to start first with the Liquor Act, so I will turn that over to you for your opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning. I am here today for the clause-by-clause review of Bill 83, an act to amend the Liquor Act. With me today and on my right is Terence Coutre, Acting Deputy Minister of Finance. On my left, Kelly Mahoney, Director of Policy, Legislation and Communications. I believe online we have Sherry Jirac, who's Legislative Counsel, and also in the room, Drew Robertson, Ministerial Special Advisor to my office, and Nora Russell, also Ministerial Special Advisor to the Deputy Minister of Finance. The current Liquor Act came into force 15 years ago. Over time, it has become out of sync with best practices across Canada and with public expectations. In 2022, the Department of Finance completed a 2-year project called the Liquor Legislation Review. The review made several recommendations. 20% of those recommendations were directly related to the Liquor Act, while the remaining 80% of recommendations affect the liquor regulations or the operations that support them. Bill 83 was drafted in response to the 20% of recommendations that pertained to the Liquor Act and will achieve 4 main objectives. First, streamline how industry is regulated by introducing a new licensing and compliance approach. Second, ensure safe public access to liquor by allowing different types of retail outlets. Third, enhance community control, including greater control over the introduction of liquor sales, as well as the cessation of liquor sales in a community. And fourth, modernize liquor enforcement by updating inspection and investigation powers. Together, these changes will modernize and streamline the Liquor Act. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'd be prepared to take any questions committee may have.
Thank you, Minister. Are there any questions for the Minister? Committee, going once? Going twice? Does committee agree to proceed to a clause-by-clause review of Bill 83?
Agreed.
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 Okay. We will call the clauses in groups. I believe there's 149 in total, so this may take a little while. And there's one motion to be moved, which I will pass to MLA Jericon at the time. But considering there's 149, I'll call them groups of 20 to clauses 1 to 20. Does committee agree?
Agreed. Oh, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Clauses 21 to 40. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Thank you. Clauses 41 to 50. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Agree.
Thank you. Clause 50. MLA.
Mr. Chair, you were cut off.
51 to MLA Jericon.
Okay, thank you. So the motion is in order. This is what part I read out, right? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. The motion is in order. To the motion. Question. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion Liquor Act that the English version of Bill 83 be amended by striking out in brackets MA in subclause 51 brackets 5 and substituted with, with may. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MLA Jericho. On the motion order, as you can see, it is just correcting a typo, and this motion was provided by the department. To the motion,
Question.
question has been called. All those in favor? Thank you. All those opposed? Thank you, Emily Marcellus. The motion is carried. To clause 51 as amended, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Thank you. I will now clause 52 to 60. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 61 to 80.
Agreed.
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 81 to 100.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Committee clauses 101 to 100.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Clause 21 to 140. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Clauses 141 to 147. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Mr.
Agreed.
Madam Clerk?
Yeah, you have to add the motion number 2 will be to 147.
Okay, I added as 148, but we have called 141 to 146 and to clause 147, MLA Jericho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion, Liquor Act, that the Bill 83 be amended by adding the following after clause 147. Consequential amendments, Cannabis Product Act, 147.1 subsection 5 brackets 3 of the Cannabis Products Act is amended by striking out subsection 34.1 in brackets of the Liquor Act and substituting subsection 23 brackets 1 of the Liquor Act. Elections and Plebiscite Act 147.2 in brackets 1, the Elections and the Plebiscite Act is amended by this section. Item that was next one is brackets number 2, paragraph 121A is amended by striking out no liquor store and substituting no retail liquor outlet. Next one is brackets number 3, paragraph 121B is amended by striking out at a licensed premises and substituting at a licensed consumption premises. Brackets number 4, subsection 301 brackets 1 is amended by striking out liquor store everywhere it appears and substituting a retail liquor outlet. Financial Administration Act 143.3, item 8, and Schedule A is to the Financial Administration Act is repealed and the following substituted. 8, the Liquor Licensing Board continued as the Liquor Appeal Board under the Liquor Act. Lotteries Act 147.4, paragraph 2, bracket C of the Lotteries Act is amended by striking out the licensed premises and substituting a licensed consumption premises. Motor Vehicle Act 147.5, section 121 of the Motor Vehicle Act is amended by striking out section 128 of the Liquor Act and substituting section 118 of the Liquor Act. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
MLA Jericho. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. And sorry, my apologies. I forgot to get concurrence with the minister on the previous motion and this one. So let's just, Minister, do you concur with the motion on 147?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I concur with both motions and appreciate the committee's support with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The motion is carried to clause 51 as amended. Does committee agree? Or sorry, clause 147 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Thank you, committee. And to clauses 148 and 149, the remainder of the bill, does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Thank you, committee. Does committee agree that Bill 83 Liquor Act is now ready for consideration in committee of the whole as amended?
Agreed.
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 Agreed. And motion to move that into committee of the whole. Emily Jericon, do you have a copy of that motion?
Two. Cynthia, you got that motion? Motion number 1 of the track. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, Richard Jericho, move the Bill 83 Liquor Act be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in committee of the whole as amended.
Thank you very much. To the motion. Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? Motion is carried. Bill 83, the Liquor Act, will be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole as amended. Thank you to the Minister and thank you to the staff. Perhaps we will just take a couple-minute break to get the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act ready and distribute the motions.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
But we need 15 minutes.
Mr. Chair, yes, it's been
We're ready.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rylund Johnson. I am the MLA for Yellowknife North and chair of the Standing Committee on Government Operations. Today, committee will be holding a clause-by-clause review with the Honourable Minister Wawzonek on Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act Number 3. I will begin by asking members of the committee to introduce themselves, beginning with MLA Ajerikon in the room there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Richard Ajerikon, MLA for Trinity Willity.
Thank you. And to our Deputy Chair.
Rita Marcellos, MLA for Tabatra.
Thank you. MLA Cleveland.
Caitlin Cleveland, MLA Cam Lake.
Thank you. MLA Semler.
Lisa Semler, MLA for Nuvik Twin Lakes.
Thank you. All members of the committee are present. And with that, Minister, I will turn it over to you for your opening remarks.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am here today for a clause-by-clause review of Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act. With me today on my right is Terence Coutre, Acting Deputy Minister of Finance. On my left, Kelly Bluck, Director of Fiscal Policy. At the end on my left, Laura Jeffrey, Legislative Counsel. Also in the room, Drew Robertson, my Ministerial Special Advisor, and Nora Russell, Special Advisor to the Deputy Minister. As previously committed, the purpose of Bill 92 is to put the carbon tax revenue sharing community grants and annual reporting requirements into carbon tax legislation. The carbon tax revenue sharing grants will provide communities with 10% of the net carbon tax revenues. These grants will provide flexible funding that may assist local governments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Each community government will receive a base funding amount plus a per capita allocation to provide appropriate support to community governments in larger communities, while also recognizing that smaller communities are often in more remote locations where costs are higher. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd be happy to take any questions the committee may have.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, are there any questions for the Minister?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Caitlin here. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Not so much a question, but more of a comment. I just wanted to say thank you to the Minister. This piece of legislation comes out of a commitment that was made on the floor of the House, and I just wanted to thank the Minister for following through on that commitment. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Agreed, Minister. And, any further questions, comments from committee? Hearing none, does committee agree to proceed to a clause-by-clause review of Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act Number 3?
Agreed.
Thank you. Committee, we will defer the title of the bill in the end and begin with consideration of the clauses. Please turn to page 1 of the bill. The first motion, to clause 1. Does committee agree? It's some verbal agrees.
Agreed. Sorry,
Thank
guys.
Clause 1. To clause 2, MLA Ajerikon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The motion, an act to amend the Petroleum Product and Carbon Tax Act Number 3. The clause number 2 of Bill 92 be amended by A, in brackets A, striking out the definition, substituting definitions, and brackets B, adding the following after the proposed definition and fiscal year. Taxation section means the taxation section of the taxation, corporate credit, and collection subdivision of the Department of Finance.
Thank you, MLA Ajerikon. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister concur with this amendment?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. To clause 2 as amended, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Thank you. To clause 3, MLA Ajerikon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion, an act to amend the Petroleum Product and Carbon Tax Act Number 3, that the clause 3 of Bill 92 be amended and proposed subsection 2.4 brackets 1 by brackets A, striking out the semicolon at the end of the English version of the definition, public accounts, and substituting a period, and brackets B, striking out the proposed definition taxation section. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MLA Jericon. The motion is ordered. To the motion.
Question?
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the minister concur with this amendment?
I do, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. To clause 3 as amended, does committee agree?
Agree.
We have another motion for clause 3. MLA Jericon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. An act to amend the Petroleum Product and Carbon Tax Act number 3, that the clause 3 of Bill 92 be amended and that a portion of a proposed subsection 2.4 brackets 5 preceding paragraphs A by striking out equal to 10% and substituting that at least 10%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MLA Jericon. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor? Thank you.
Yes.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the minister concur with this amendment?
I do concur, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, to clause 3 as amended, does committee agree?
Agree.
Agreed.
Thank you. To clause 4 of the bill, MLA Jericon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That clause 4 of Bill 92 be amended by deleting proposed section 20.2 and substituting the following. 20.2 brackets 1 in section emission reduction projects means an emission reduction projects as defined in the regulation. Brackets number 2, the minister shall for each fiscal year prepare an annual report with respect to the collection and administration of carbon tax under this act during this year. Brackets number 3, the annual report prepared under subsection 2 must contain the following information. Brackets A, with respect to each type of fuel listed in the schedule, the total amount of carbon tax collected. Brackets B, the total amount of rebates provided or refused under subsection 2.2 brackets 1. Bracket C, in respect of each grant provided under subsection 22.3 brackets 2, brackets number 1, the total amount of the grant. Brackets number 2, the name of the large emitter to whom the grant will be provided. Brackets number 3, the purpose for which the grant was provided, if applicable. And brackets number 4, if the grant was provided to offset the cost of emission reduction project. The anticipated reduction in greenhouse gas emission resulting from the project. Brackets D, the total amount of each grants provided under subsection 2.4 brackets 3 and the names of the community government to whom it was provided. Brackets E, the total amount of any penalties payable or collected in respect of a carbon tax under subsection 16 brackets 2. Brackets F, the total amount of any penalties assessed or collected in respect of a carbon tax under subsection 16 brackets 5. Brackets G, the total amount of any refunds provided in respect of carbon tax under section 16.1. Brackets H, the total amount of carbon tax, any carbon tax, interest, penalties, or costs ordered to be paid or refunded for offenses related to the carbon tax subsection 16.7 brackets 5. Brackets I, the total amount of any fines ordered under subsection 21 brackets 1.1 or brackets 1.2 for offenses related to carbon tax. Brackets J, the total amount of costs incurred by the taxation section to administrator carbon tax under this act. Brackets K, a description of the effectiveness of the carbon tax in reducing greenhouse gases emissions in the Northwest Territories. brackets L, any other information in respect of the collection of administration of carbon tax that the minister considered to be in the public interest. Number 4, brackets number 4. The minister shall cause the annual report prepared under subsection 2, brackets 2, brackets A, to be tabled in the Legislative Assembly at the earliest opportunity after completion of the report, and brackets B, to be published on a website maintained by the department responsible for administration of this act. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MLA Ajerikon. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Thank you. All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the minister concur with this amendment?
I concur, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. To clause 4 as amended, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. I believe we are done with motions. Clause 5, does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Clause 6, does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Clause 7, does committee agree?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Does committee agree that Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act, number 3, as amended, is now ready for consideration in committee of the whole?
Agreed.
MLA Ajerikon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Product and Carbon Tax Act number 3 be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration on committee of the whole as amended. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MLA Ajerikon. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? The motion is carried. Bill 92, an act to amend the Petroleum Products and Carbon Tax Act number 3 will be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in committee of the whole as amended. Minister, thank you very much to you and your officials, and this concludes the public portion of our meeting today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. MLA Semler moves us in camera, and we will end the broadcast.